Hello and welcome to Asking for a Trend. Well, drones have been a popular sector in recent months as defense becomes a top priority for the Trump administration. One of the companies in that industry is Unusual Machines. Let's take a look at them on Yahoo Finance's Alpha Space platform. What I did was ask Yahoo Scout to create a view of the company for me. As you can see here, it just quickly spun up pretty much all the financial metrics you would need on this company. So quickly tells me, okay, what's it been doing over the past 52 weeks? Well, it's up a cool 342% there. Quickly also compares that to what the SPX, the S&P 500 has been doing. You can also see it quickly gives me all the valuation metrics here, my forward PE, price to sales, price to book. Let's take a look at the stock chart as well. It's impressive. Let's look at the year, and actually let's look at the year to date. The big gap here you can see. Now, this is around late May. What happened around here is the Wall Street Journal puts out a report saying the Trump administration is considering funding American drone companies, and you can see the gap higher the company made on that news. Well, the Trump administration is making drones a bigger priority for national security, and reports indicating officials are exploring ways to help expand domestic production. One company at the center of that is Unusual Machines. It's a drone parts supplier that counts Donald Trump Jr. as an advisor. Joining us now, we've got the CEO of Unusual Machines, Alan Evans. Alan, it's great to see you. Maybe you start here, Alan. Just explain for people a little bit more about the company. You know, its mission, its purpose. You know, are you building drones, Alan? Is it components? Is it software? Help us understand.
Oh, no, I really appreciate it, and thanks for the time. We're doing the parts, so we're like a tier one supplier, where there's so many great drone companies out there. We think of them like the car companies, like a Tesla or a GM. We're doing tires. I mean, we're doing batteries, the powertrain, the motors, sort of the things that people used to source in from China that weren't the AI or the other stuff that everyone needs. And we're building a lot of it in Orlando, so it's pretty exciting.
And who's buying these components, Alan? Like, who's your customers? Is it the federal government? Is it other drone makers, Alan? Is it both?
Yeah, no, we don't really sell anything to the government directly. We sell to other drone companies. So if you look, there's like the Drone Dominance Program, which is out there where the government's doing this challenge to try to buy 250,000 drones next year. More than half the companies in that program are customers of ours buying things like motors and other stuff because there's a mandate for a domestic supply chain.
We've talked to analysts, Alan, on the show about how the modern battlefield is really evolving and really changing. Why are drones such a high priority on that future battlefield?
I think they're a high priority for two reasons. First, they've been shown to be very effective in Ukraine and in Israel. And then second, for the U.S. government, we realized the whole supply chain for all of that was coming out of China. And so there's a concern that if we don't have a domestic supply chain and there's a conflict or a supply disruption with Asia, that we wouldn't have it as a tool in our toolbox.
Can we put a hard number on, Alan? Like, what percentage of drones are still running through China that come here?
The ones in the U.S. are really starting to turn down. DJI still has a dominant position. They're a great company. It's probably 70% of the domestic market, non-defense. And if you look at Europe, it's probably 80% of the parts coming in for both Ukraine and Russia are still probably coming out of China.
I'm curious, Alan, you saw this Wall Street Journal report, Trump administration concerning funding American drone companies. Broadly, Alan, I'm just curious, what role do you think the federal government has here in trying to, increase production, scale this industry? What would be the right role in your opinion?
So I think they've actually been doing a very good job. And this actually started under the Biden administration when they passed like all the laws that sort of kicked out Chinese drones. They were passed unanimously. So it's not really a partisan issue. So they created a marketplace, and now they're injecting the demand signal into the marketplace. So they're doing both sides to help all the drone companies really show up and scale as quickly as possible, make the market and fund the market. So really great job across everybody who's been in both administrations now.
Alan, Donald Trump Jr. has an advisory role, I read, on your company. I thought I heard you read an article, Alan, where you said, listen, his role here, it's about business connections. It's not about politics. What did you mean by that, Alan?
What I mean to say, so he invested even before the election, but he's very interested in onshoring, right? Reindustrialization, everything else. And so there's a lot of great connections to the people who are also trying to push onshoring with a lot of the things we let go away over the last 40 years.
Any concerns you might have, Alan, about perception issues? I mean, you have the president's family now. They're invested in drones. maybe some people think, okay, so could politics be influencing Pentagon decision making? I'm sure you've heard that, and I'm just curious what your reaction to that is.
I definitely heard it. What I can say is it actually has created even a bigger spotlight on us to have to be even better at what we do, because people actually lean against us rather than for us. So we've had senior officials in the Department of War come down to our facilities. So many people have had to come by and audit what we're doing to validate that we're really doing it. Because, you know, when it comes to the defense of everybody that we care about in these physical goods, you have to really do the thing. So where people might perceive it as one side, it's actually required just a higher level of discipline and operation from us.
Like you said, Alan, you're actually, you're building all this in Orlando. I'm curious, like any trouble getting the labor, the technical skills you need for this?
No, Orlando's been awesome. We have a great relationship with the Valencia Trade School right next to our offices. They train people up. We do a bunch of career fairs with them. The people that work at the parks, like on roller coasters and stuff, are super technical. They come over. So no, we've had amazing workforce response in the Orlando area. Couldn't be happier. Don't want to be anywhere else.
Fast forward 5 years, 10 years, Alan, I'm just curious, how do you see the American drone market evolving? How big an opportunity could this be?
Yeah, so a couple ways to look at it. What I would say is the same thing in the drone gauntlet program is 20 kilometers, 5 pounds. That sounds like food delivery. The FAA is about to pass 108, so I think you're going to see DoorDash and Uber Eats show up. I think that's going to be a massive driver because you don't have to tip the robot. So I think consumers are going to get food faster and ultimately a lot cheaper. I then think if you go back in time and look at 2024, the consumer drone industry in the U.S. was about $10 billion already. The market was already made. That's been just wiped out with the FCC ruling. So I think you're looking at a $15 billion to $20 billion industry in about 5 years, with most of it already there.
Alan, great to have you on the show today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend.
You too. Stick around. Much more As for a Trend. That's